Why am I here? One of the reasons for me to be here is for you to watch this video. I have been wondering for a long time, why am I so different? I may not look that much different than most, but I know I am different. I've even gone to psychics and visited temples several times. One time a lady rolled up her sleeve and told me, "I don't know why you are different, but when you came near me, my hair stood up." And the other time a psychic told me, "Your third eye has been open for a long time. You see what people don't see. You don't see spirit nor ghost. You see what no one sees." Of course, I don't have 20/20 vision. I may be off or even way off, but there is a reason for you to see this video. Terrible events will happen, but you don't need a psychic to tell you this. Everyone can see what is coming, but I will not only be specific, but will tell you what led me to that conclusion. I can read between the lines of Nostradamus' Book of Prophecy, Chinese prophecy Tuibei 2, and even crop circles. For example, on July 22, 2016, I saw this crop circle and I said it is a warning of a disease outbreak transmitted by a bat. And on August the 12th, 2016, I said this Ansi-Wiltshire crop circle contains the words DWYE UPN East W help near, which means although Donald is double-digit down at the time, he will win with the help from the Northeast. I decoded and released this in October 2016 when the election results seemed all but set for Hillary to win. However, someone said the Ansi crop circle is man-made. Does this mean a man-made crop circle can contain messages? Well, let me show you this crop circle which appeared in Kansas, May 2021. This is an Oreo cookie advertisement, and the crop circle showed an Oreo cookie. But when I looked at it, I felt the two O's in the word Oreo are actually part of the lines of these circles. So I only saw the word RE, which means real estate, and since it is between two triangle warning signs, I thought it was a warning about real estate. The word we used is real estate inside these inflation bubbles may be a problem in the United States. Less than a day later, the Miami Surfside condo collapsed. In our follow-up crop circle fulfilled prediction released on 7/13/21, we pointed out the 12 crosses around the word Oreo is the same as the 12 floors in Surfside. And although the news articles stated there are a total of about 150 people missing, we counted the bars around the edge of the cookie and said we can probably only find 97 bodies. The rest may be buried with a collapsed condo. 10 days later, authorities called off the search after finding 97 bodies. They called off the search and said they will not try to find the 98th victim, identified but not found, just as predicted. I will not bore you with more fulfilled crop circle predictions, nor will I go over every fulfilled Nostradamus prediction. However, I think it is necessary for us to tell you a very few important prophecies about our future. Sadly, the more prophetic our decodings are, the less people will read it. Check on how many subscribers we have today, and check it again in a week. The more new videos I put out, the fewer subscribers I have. Several of them shared with me how their subscriptions got mysteriously deleted. What I said is not new. I released the first version on January the 8th, 2017, but recent events gave me more clear vision on its meaning. I will give a quick overview on these prophecies. The first Doomsday prophecy is found in Century 2, Quatrain 27. Quote, the divine word will be struck from the sky, one who cannot proceed any further, the secret closed up with revelation, such that they will march over and ahead. This is telling us that there will be a clear warning from the sky. The message is loud and clear. Do not continue the destructive path you are taking. And we will soon know a secret some of us already know. As the third line seemed to say, the secret will be revealed. But no one will take it seriously, and we will see us marching towards the road of no return. Do you know how many shooting stars exploded in the last several months on night skies all over the world? Is that a warning? How about weather changes? Floods did not pour into China's subway station. It poured into London's subway also. And in a month, landslides killed many in Japan, and then Western Europe, China, and then India. The next one is found in Century 2, Quatrain 30, quote, one who the infernal gods of Hannibal will cause to be reborn, terror of mankind, never more horror nor worse of days. In the past then will come to the Romans through Babel. The first line kind of means hell to break loose, while the second line is telling us the magnitude of the horror. It is not a disaster in a country. It is for all of mankind. I did not realize how serious this warning may be 4 years ago, but now listen. Never more horror nor worse of days. Look, how can there be worse of days after 2020? Or is it about 2020? Don't forget the current pandemic was put off in Wuhan till it burst out of control in northern Italy. Then in Century 2, Quatrain 37, quote, of that great number that one will send to relieve those besieged in the fort. Plague and famine will devour them all, except 70 who will be destroyed. This prediction mentioned plague in line 3. We explained in details in the plague prophecy decoding that although the meanings are simple to understand, it described a scene not yet seen. A scene when people besieged by the virus with no food and hope. In either the worsening plague or the next plague. If you ask me, is another plague in the future? I don't think this quatrain needs any decoding, but the question remains, when will this happen? In Century 2, Quatrain 41, the great star will burn for 7 days. The cloud will cause 2 suns to appear. The big mastiff will howl all night, when the great pontiff will change country. A great star is mentioned. Burn for 7 days sounds more like a comet. But how can a comet be called a great star? Could it be because it is the comet 1,000 times the size of most comets? I mean, comet Bernardinelli-Bernstein. You can argue that is about another great star, but you can't argue that it will bring changes to our atmosphere to the point that we can see 2 suns in the sky. In the 2031 comet, is the comet mentioned here, then we will see huge Earth changes soon. If it is not, we still have nothing to be happy about either. Just think of the fact that the 2031 comet was only spotted 6 years ago. Will another big comet become the next threat when we have only 6 years to prepare? The last line talked about pontiff. That is about the Pope. Please note the Century 2, Poem 30 talked about Roman. Will disaster in Rome force the Pope to change countries? The next Doomsday prophecy is found in Century 2, Quatrain 45. Quote, "Too much the heavens weep for the androgyne begotten. Near the heavens human blood shed. Because of death, too late a great people recreated. Late and soon the awaited relief comes." Look at the third line. Do you think it means that mankind will need to be recreated? Because we are no longer the mankind? Or is it about the fact that after most humans are genetically changed, we are no longer the mankind we once were? The next two quatrains after the last one are also about doomsday. In Century 2, Quatrain 46, "After great trouble for humanity, a greater one is prepared. The great mover renews the ages. Rain, blood, milk, famine, steel, and plague. Is the heavens' fire seen, a long spark running?" Although this one talked about fire, plague, the flood, conflict, and famine, it actually gives us a beam of hope, as it talked about a great one, just as the Savior and Messiah in other prophecies. And many the great plague and huge loss of lives, people will abandon their homes to seek shelter. But even in the darkest hours, there is still sparks of light and hope. A gruesome scene is then described in the next quatrain. We find in Century 2, Quatrain 47, "The great old enemy mourning dies of poison, the sovereigns subjugated in infinite numbers. Stones raining hidden under the fleece. Through death articles are cited in vain." I can't tell you what this prophecy is about, but I can tell you the images I see when I read the poem. The air is so hazardous. The hatred dividing countries no longer matters when you have to fight just to breathe. Isn't it horrible when you are no longer afraid of the rain, because what you worry about more are the stones raining down? Of all the horrifying prophecies, this one can be the worst. We find in Century 2, Quatrain 75, quote, "On the pipe of the air vent floor, so high will the bushel of wheat rise, that man will be eating his fellow man." Ugh. Do I need to explain why this sounds so horrible? I don't want to overwhelm you with more of Nostradamus' prophecies. And sadly, or maybe fortunately, many of us won't live to see the horrible days described. Although I believe there is no way to avoid the devastation ahead of us, I do think there are things we can do to keep civilization from falling apart. And I believe the better we prepare, the better our chances are to survive this. This is Ken Peters. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more of the prophecy decodings.